Most of the discussion of impeachment in the last 24 hours has concentrated on Volume 2 of the Mueller report about the president's obstruction of justice. But there is more than enough in Volume 1 of the Mueller report to produce articles of impeachment. This is in Volume 1 of the Mueller report.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
As it turns out, Russia was listening, and according to the Mueller report, within approximately 5 hours of Trump's statement, GRU officers targeted for the first time Clinton's personal office. Then, as president, Donald Trump has repeatedly lied to the world about the Russian attack on our election.
President Putin really feels, and he feels strongly, that he did not meddle in our election. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
That man took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and he has not lived up to that oath for one day of his presidency. Joining us now is Jonathan Alter, a columnist for the Daily Beast. Jonathan has reported on every presidential race since 1980. Also with us, Richard Stengel, former Undersecretary of State in the Obama administration. Both are MSNBC political analysts. And Rick, I want to start with you on Volume 1 of the Mueller report, which has so much about the Russian contacts with the Trump campaign that we didn't know before. The obstruction of justice part is I think is the part that most people are able to grasp most easily as possible fuel for impeachment. But there's a lot in Volume 1.
Yes. I mean, Mueller says there are basically three ways that Russia tried to infiltrate the Trump campaign. One through the messaging, one through the GRU hacking the DNC and leaking those emails to the Trump campaign, and one through all the contacts, including the Trump Tower meeting and the meetings about Moscow. I have to say, having gone through the indictments that Mueller did already of the 13 Russians of the IRA and the GRU, there's a lot there that actually wasn't in the final report. In fact, I was quite surprised that there didn't turn out to be more connections. And in fact, the reason they didn't really collude in the sense that we thought they were was basically because of incompetence on both sides. I mean, the Russians were the C team, the Trump people are the D team, and they couldn't really figure it out together. And the messaging part, which was fascinating, is the Russians never came clean. Remember, they pretended to be Americans. They talked to Trump campaign officials about producing rallies and messaging. They were retweeted by people like Kellyanne Conway and Don Trump Jr., but they never came out from behind their masks. They never revealed that they were Russians. And for the most part, the Trump people didn't seem to realize they were.
And, Jonathan, they seem to have done quite enough using Paul Manafort's detailed polling information of where they needed help in which electoral college states in the Midwest.
Well, Paul Manafort was colluding with the Russians. And no, full stop. That if you're giving them polling information and information about where to target their efforts, it's important to understand that Mueller never said they didn't collude. He actually has a paragraph about collusion saying this term is not relevant to our inquiry. We're interested in whether there was a criminal conspiracy. Collusion is not a legal term. Volume 1 is full of collusion. It's all collusion. When Trump says there was no collusion, that is flatly untrue. Mueller found there was not a criminal conspiracy, which is a different thing. But I actually disagree with you a little, Rick, on the coordination. I thought there was a lot of sort of tacit, effective, fairly competent. It took them 5 hours after the Trump clip that you showed. And on October 7th, the Access Hollywood business, it took them 1 hour before they got the stolen emails. But WikiLeaks was working with the Russians. WikiLeaks and the Russians are basically the same thing. That's what we're learning. We hope, I think there's some hope that with Assange now being brought to justice, maybe we can learn more about the WikiLeaks Russian connections.
Let's listen to what Elizabeth Warren had to say tonight about her decision to support impeachment today after reading the Mueller report yesterday.
This is about a point of principle. The report is absolutely clear. that a foreign government attacked our electoral system to help Donald Trump. He welcomed that help. And then when it was investigated by our own federal authorities, Donald Trump took multiple steps to try to obstruct justice. You know, this is one of those moments when I get it, that there are people who think politically, no, it's going to be too hard to do this. This isn't about politics. This isn't even specifically about Donald Trump himself. It is about what a president of the United States should be able to do and what the role of Congress is in saying, no, a president does not get to come in and stop an investigation about a foreign power that attacked this country or an investigation about his own wrongdoing. Equal justice under law. No one is above the law, and that includes the President of the United States. It is the constitutional responsibility of Congress to follow through on that.
In your careers as journalists, you've both covered a lot of presidential campaigns. We've never seen one where one of the campaign issues is, should my opponent, the President of the United States, be impeached?
Go ahead. I mean, full stop, it's the greatest scandal in American history. There was whether Trump and Russia colluded or not, Russia attacked the American system. The President of the United States' principal job is to defend America against foreign attacks. Not only did he not defend us, not only did he not criticize us, he is leaving the country open to continued attacks by Russia, which are happening right now, even while we speak.
He in effect, joined the other side on this attack.
People said there's no smoking gun. There's a smoking artillery range. I mean, everything in this report indicates an impeachable offense. And I think that she's right, not only on a matter of principle, I think she's right politically as well, and that the conventional wisdom that somehow there's going to be this backlash against Democrats if they connect the dots in a Senate trial, I just think is wrong. You know, these reports are hard for the American people to absorb. They're busy. They need to see the movie, not just read the book. And somebody has to put on a show, which is what a trial is, even if the Republicans vote against it. I think it'll be hard for the Republicans to defend having defended Donald Trump in a Senate trial.
And at the same time, Rick, the Attorney General is doing everything he can do to delay the way Jerry Nadler and the committee would like to proceed. And what he knows he's doing is he's delaying the possibility of impeachment.
Well, and I would say the same thing in a sense about the Attorney General as I was saying about the President. The Attorney General's job is to be the Attorney General for all of the people. He is being the defense lawyer for Donald Trump. And in fact, what he said just before in his preview was not just subjectively wrong, it was objectively false and untrue. So I think he's betraying the American people just in the same way.
Rick Stengel, Jonathan Alter, thank you both for joining us tonight. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.